Alright guys, if there's ever been a time when I could make a case for why an event should be changed, this is my case. Hear me out. Okay, I got 182 million points in Guild War right now. I have 27 million in Solo War. You might be thinking, have you rallied somebody? Have you soloed somebody? No. All I've done is sat on a base. It's almost 3 kingdoms of my main kingdom, and nothing, and I mean absolutely nothing, has happened this entire KVK. Okay? We own all 4 forts. Nobody's come by. Nobody probably plans to come by. It is deader than a doornail. It is so dead, it seriously makes me question what in the God Green's Earth is IGG doing? Because this event is a way for players to collaborate with others, right? And fight, basically. But yet, there's like nothing going on. Nothing, literally nothing. Like there's literally nothing. It's just, it baffles me why this game allows this to happen. I could be one of the only people in the world that feels this way. But I feel like by having so many kingdoms, right, that they're starting to repeat the same problems that Game of War made only 5 or 6 years prior, right? And if you don't know what Game of War is, it's basically the predecessor to a lot of these type of games. The thing is that, you know, when you think of a game like Game of War, it had server wars, right? And the concept of a guild, and the idea that you would join families, and you would fight for bases and fight other players. And that is, well, what do you know? Sounds pretty damn similar, doesn't it? And the problem was, in their case, was they added too many kingdoms. That sounds similar. They continued to add tiers. That sounds similar. They continued to add gear and components and mechanics that ultimately ended their game. Now, I don't know. I'm just standing here on the outside and I'm looking like, okay, this sounds like a very similar pattern that's happening in Lords Mobile, and what exactly are they doing to change it? And so far, it looks like they aren't. So, not to scare anybody, but the trajectory of that game lasted from 2014-ish in that time frame, and it pretty much come to a crawl by about 2016, 2017. And now you don't really hear about it, and we're all the way into 2023. So, I don't know about you guys, but if I could give IGG some pointers, right? It's don't do what other game companies have done in the past, which is to basically allow power creep to get to this point. In other words, if you continue to allow people to join new kingdoms, and you don't start merging kingdoms, or you don't do something, right, you're gonna have a problem on your hands. Now, I will say that one of the reasons why I think that game, in particular Game of War, had a serious death event was that they basically reset a bunch of kingdoms, and by resetting it, you basically screwed over 90% of the population in those kingdoms, right? Obviously, that is something we don't want to see repeated ever in any game, ever. Really, not even in this game. That would be horrible. So, on that footnote, I just can't help but notice how boring this is. And not that trapping or any type of fighting is boring, but if you wanted to fight these days, it's like you almost have to go fighting and looking for the problems. You know, it's like you got to go to the bases and you got to go fight. But what's the incentive? What incentive do I have to do that? Nothing, other than the simple basis of wanting to see it happen. And it is baffling to me that they don't have something that rewards that. Because right now I can just sit, own my base, get the rewards, and it doesn't matter. Like, if let's say we just added one little tiny change to this and say, oh, you can't own the base in your kingdom, suddenly this would make people a little bit more competitive. Right? Because it's funny that this says rival kingdom, but when it comes to wonders, all of a sudden, and weirdly enough, right, why would people then want to defend it? Well, the same reason why people want to hold it. If you prevent the other guild from holding it, you need to give them incentive for defending it too. And I get that. I understand precisely why they've made it so that, you can get points holding it and attacking it. But in principle, that incentivizes people to do absolutely nothing. There's got to be a better way to do that. There has to be. Because the current way they're doing it doesn't work. At least in my opinion, it doesn't. I think it could be done differently. I really do. I could be ranting, and frankly, some people may find what I'm saying is just not what they agree with. So be it. I, for one, just don't currently like the way this is being done. I think this could be done differently, and frankly, I don't know. I think Kingdom Clash has been going downhill for a while now, and frankly, I don't think it's really hit tip-top ridiculous until about now, where it seems like hit and miss for some kingdoms, but when you're in the mid 400 or 500s, this is a regular thing now. It's to this point where it's like, oh, okay, there's only maybe 1 or 2 guilds in a kingdom now, where there used to be may have been 5, 6. Now it's 1 or 2, maybe 3. Most of them don't have but maybe 110 million, total billion for the entire guild. It's like there's not really a whole lot to offer. So that forces people to do one of two things. You either go and move your kingdom, go from 427 to somewhere in the thousands, so that you have something to do, right? Or you sit back and you look at this and you go, what have they done to my game? It's just like, I don't know. I can't help but feel like they could do something and they do nothing. Something that frustrates me more than anything. But I thought I'd make a video about it because it just frustrates the living hell out of me. It really does. So much so that I wanted to make a video about it, just to talk about it with you guys. But if you feel the same way, let me know in the comment section below. I'll see you guys next time.